Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Skyrim's Special Edition. My name's Camel, and today I thought I had a normal guide for you, but it turns out that this spell is actually pretty mental. First, we're going to get, and then secondly, we're going to check out the unique spell, the Conjure Flaming Familiar. It's an excellent spell for beginner conjurers with some hidden secrets, and even uses to high-level veteran players. I also want to mention that this spell has undergone some tweaks in the Skyrim Special Edition compared to Skyrim Standard Edition, so this spell may be slightly different if you are following this guide for the original Skyrim version. To acquire it, much like Vorkun, we need to come to the Highgate Ruins. This can be found on the map to the east of Solitude, on the northern shores of Skyrim. As soon as we walk into the ruins, we will encounter an NPC, Anska. If we talk to her, we will discover that she's looking for a specific scroll that she believes is found within the ruins. And she's correct, it is found here. Doesn't make a difference at the end of the quest, but you might as well say that you want her help, or that you'll help her. After doing so, we'll get the quest A Scroll For Anska. Provided you said that you will help her, she will follow you throughout the entire dungeon, which is a great help, as she has some very powerful fire magic. Now, given this dungeon is a moderate to long dungeon and has a boss fight at the end, you might also want to bring a follower and of course bring all of your potions and such things. In the final room, we will encounter the Dragon Priest Vorkun, and you have to defeat him to gain access to the room which has the scroll. So once he is defeated, head to the back of the throne room and into the room with the dragon wall. And on a table, we will find the sealed scroll. As soon as we pick it up, we will get the prompt to return it to Anska, and once we do just that, we will complete the quest and we will be rewarded with the spell tome Conjure Flaming Familiar. So now that we have it, of course it is the Conjure Flaming Familiar spell. It is in the Conjuration school, it is an apprentice level spell, its base casting cost is 50 magicka, which has changed from the original Skyrim's 57 magicka, and despite being an apprentice level spell, it actually costs less to cast than the standard Conjure Familiar, which is only a novice level spell. Just another feather in the cap of the Flaming Familiar. The spell has a charging time of half a second, so it's nice and quick. Its range is a whopping 100 feet. This is roughly 3 times the distance of any other summoning spell, and can be increased to 300 feet by putting 2 points into the summoner perk. The spell tome's value is 250 gold, and the effect of the spell, it summons a Flaming Familiar for 6 seconds that will run to nearby enemies and explode. So we essentially have a homing explosive wolf on our hands. So firstly, let's discuss its damage. I don't know exactly how much damage it does, although from the tests I did, I can say that the Flaming Familiar's explosion deals 50 damage or very damned near 50 damage, as it took exactly 5 Flaming Familiars to kill this Whiterun guard with roughly 250 health. So with that damage, it is comparable to a fireball spell. The explosion damage is also dealt to all standing within a 15-foot radius of the Flaming Familiar when it explodes. Similarly to the standard Conjured Familiar, the Conjured Flaming Familiar will bite enemies for the few seconds that it is alive, and these bites cause a small amount of melee damage, but not enough to write home about. Also, after the explosion, enemies will be set on fire for 2 seconds. However, during this period, their health does not move any further, so it would appear this burning effect actually does no damage whatsoever. So now let's talk about its mechanics. What are they, in a garage or something? What was that? So when cast, the Flaming Familiar will run to the nearest enemy. If you are not in combat and there are no hostile enemies nearby, it will run straight to you, the caster. At maximum, it will remain summoned for 6 seconds before exploding. It can be exploded prematurely by being damaged by NPCs, enemies, or even yourself. This can be paired with something like the Spark spell. As you can see on screen, I am detonating my freshly summoned Flaming Familiar to get out quick, destructive explosions. And despite what you may think, you cannot be damaged by your Flaming Familiar. As you'll see in this footage here, I am a naked level 1 Nord, both in real life and in game, and while standing next to the explosion, I take no damage. This is obviously very useful as your proximity to your Flaming Familiar does not matter and does not need to be considered. Now, there is one very hidden and super useful mechanic of the Flaming Familiar, and that is it being summoned and its explosion do not turn neutral or passive NPCs hostile. With this, we can actually use it to kill NPCs without breaking the law, gaining a bounty, or even lifting anyone's eyebrow. This mechanic is ultra useful for taking out NPCs in broad daylight without even causing any disturbances. For example, this would be super useful during a Dark Brotherhood mission in which an NPC needed to be assassinated. As we can see here, even after killing 2 people with the Flaming Familiar, we have no bounty or criminal record whatsoever. It's a very handy ace to have up your sleeve. Curiously, in the creation kit there there is data that indicates that this spell was originally meant to be a Flaming Draga, and the spell gets even better. The Twin Souls perk allows for 2 Flaming Familiars to be summoned at one time. Combining this with a maxed out Summoner perk, which will make its casting distance up to 300 feet, will leave the Flaming Familiar as an even more deadly weapon. Now we can pack double the punch with 2 of them, of course dealing double the damage, and because of the incredible casting distance, we can now use it as a Flaming Wolf double-barreled explosive sniper rifle, allowing you to take out enemies from a great distance, which only an incredibly keen-eyed marksman could compete with. The Flaming Familiar also seems to be immune to turning spells, which makes it useful when dealing with foes who cast such spells. So all in all, a very useful and aggressive spell for leveling up your conjuration skill. It begins with relative usefulness, then later on with perks and some hidden mechanics, this homing grenade wolf holds its usefulness and a spot on my favorites list. This, coupled with its relatively low cost in magicka, the Flaming Familiar has proven itself to be one of the most versatile spells in the game. It's a whole lot of flaming fun, and I hope I'm not barking up the wrong skill tree here, but I'm sure in time it is a spell that you will become very familiar with. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Camel, and this has been my guide for the unique spell, the Flaming Familiar, or the Conjured Flaming Familiar, or Summon Flaming Familiar. It has been known to change names in people's spell UI for no reason. I do hope that this video helped you out in some way, and that you now have a better understanding of the true power and versatility of this Flaming Familiar spell. If you did find this video helpful, I think you would be interested in clicking on the playlist button on screen. This, of course, will take you directly to my Skyrim's Guide playlist, where you can select the videos that you wish to watch freely. Individual guide links will also, of course, be in the description. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I hope this Flaming Familiar helps you out in some way in Skyrim, and I will see you very shortly in the next video. I'll see you there very soon.